What's up guys, my name is Matt, and Monday I presented the idea that we as a community find out the drop rates of everything in the SRL loot table, with the goal of getting 1,000 races. And when I posted that video, I expected to get a few screenshots, maybe 10 or 20, but you guys came through and sent me over 150 screenshots in 2 days. To be exact, you sent 187. So to Dark, Natty Please, Slewface Killer, Famba, Soundproof Dude, Extreme Duck, Mr. Phenomenal, Joe Rose, Leaked Imp, Zach, It's Nyan, Icarus Joey, and everyone else that helped or planned on helping but didn't get the chance to, you guys are the reason this video is possible on day 4 of the dawning. You guys showed me that these community projects are something that I can do in the future, and I can't thank you enough for your support. But I'm certain you guys want the numbers, and that's why you're here. So like always, if you want just a summary, you can skip to the time shown on screen now. And if you're one of the people that want to look at the raw data, a link to the spreadsheet used for the video can be found in the description. So with all that out of the way, let's get into some disclaimers. The data tracked involves 30 unique drops, ranging from strange coins and motes down to specific Crucible Weapon drops and even the SRL gear. Although Emblems, Shaders, Blue Gear, Blue Engrams, and Legendary Engrams were not separated into specific types. So I can tell you the drop rate of a Blue Engram, but I can't tell you the drop rate of a Blue Helmet Engram. In addition, with Shaders and Emblems only dropping once, but still being recorded, this could slightly skew the data, and in all actuality probably did. And finally, even though this is the largest sample size done to date on this channel, 1,000 races is still nothing compared to the grand scope of Destiny. So like always, remember that while this video is a very good baseline, RNG is still RNG, so you'll never experience identical results. Now at this point in my other loot videos, I usually present questions to be answered, and due to the amount of data I have, the structure of this video will be slightly different. Instead of questions, I'll be breaking this video into 5 parts. First, a brief discussion on strange coins and motes and their drop rates, then the drop rate of Emblem Shaders and Ornaments, followed by the drop rate of Blues, Engrams, and Ghost Shells. Fourth on the list is the Crucible Weaponry drops, and the last is the Sparrow Racing League gear. So first, let's dive into strange coins and motes. I will say this right away, while they do drop fairly often, Sparrow Racing League is not a good place to farm either of these. Over 1,003 recorded races, only 283 strange coins and 259 motes dropped as rewards, but due to the nature on how they drop, both being in a range of 1 to 3, I cannot give you a drop rate percentage on these. What I can tell you is that you will only receive about 0.25 or 0.28 coins or motes per race, and you'll never receive both of them at the same time in one drop. So to even receive 1 coin or 1 mote, you'll need to do at least 4 races. This isn't really important information, nor do I think anyone watching this video came in expecting to be able to farm them and is going to leave disappointed that they can't farm these materials in SRL. I still figured I'd tell you guys anyways. Let's move on. Now, as I said in the disclaimers, emblems and shaders only drop 1 time, and once you have them, they do not drop again. So as I discuss the drop rates in just a second, assume that once you have them all, your numbers will shift elsewhere. Over the course of 1,000 plus races, emblems and shaders drop collectively 20.4% of the time, with emblems at 4% and shaders at 16.4%. So with that said, if you haven't touched SRL much or at all, early on, 1/5 of your drops will be these items, but in a week's time, when you've collected them all, these will not be dropping for you, opening about 20% of your total drops for other items. As for ornaments, I'm going to be honest and say they are very, very rare. Over the 1,000 races, only 44 SRL ornaments were received. That's only 4.38% of the time. If you were to go out and do 100 races, I'd be really surprised if you even saw 4. Luckily, there are other means of getting these because Sparrow Racing League is really stingy when it comes to them. This next section, I'll be covering Blue Gear, Blue Engrams, Legendary Engrams, non-SRL class items, and the Sugary and Crimson Ghost Shells. Blue Gear and Engrams and Legendary Engrams and class items collectively dropped 65% of the time. Blue Gear being 42.6% of that. Blue Engrams at 14.4%, Legendary Engrams at only 3.8%, and non-SRL class items at 4.2%. Overall, you will receive one of these 4 drops 2 times every 3 or so races, and half the time it'll be a useless blue gear piece. But with that out of the way, let's talk about the Sugary and Crimson Ghost Shells. And even though it was nice that Bungie added these to the loot pool, I'm sorry to say that if you want these, prepare for a grind. Collectively, these 2 shells only appeared 19 times over 1,003 races. The Crimson Shell appearing 10 times, and the Sugary Shell only dropping 9 times. for a collective drop rate of 1.89% of the time. If you don't have these shells, prepare to do upwards of 200 races to even have a chance at receiving both of them. And that's lowballing it. With the Sugary Shell at a drop rate of 0.89% and the Crimson Shell at 0.99% of the time, if you're planning on farming these, I wish you luck. Now, I'm certain this next section probably ranks second on the list of information you want to know, and that's the Crucible Weapons. In Sparrow Racing League, there are 14 different weapons that can drop, those being the Hexcaster, the Red Spectre, Eos Luna, Ill Will, Cryptic Dragon, the NL Shadow, Party Crasher +1, the Matador 64, the 77 Wizard, the 2020 AMR 7, the Hopscotch Pilgrim, the Steel Oracle, the Ash Factory, and the Unending Deluge 3. These collectively were dropped 13.4% of the time, but individually have abysmal drop rates ranging from 0.39% of the time for the Ill Will up to a measly 1.69% of the time for the Matador 64. If you go out and do 100 races, you might see one of each, which is pretty decent. A 13.4% drop rate on legendary weapons is not that bad, but if you're wanting a specific weapon, you're gonna have a bad time. Sparrow Racing League is great for infusion fuel, but not the place to farm a Matador. And last, but probably the thing that you guys want to know the most, the Sparrow Racing League gear. Over 1,000 races, the 5 gear pieces dropped a total of 196 times, or roughly 19.5% of the time. Class items dropping 42 times at 4.2%, chest pieces 55 times at 5.5%, gauntlets 42 times also at 4.2%, boots 47 times or 4.7% of the time, and helmets being the rarest, dropping only 10 times or only 1% of the time. And while the helmets are rare, I do believe, if memory serves me correctly, you have to be rank 3 to even receive them. So I'm going to make an educated guess and say they will probably also drop roughly 4% of the time upon reaching rank 3. Regardless, a collective drop rate of 20% is decent. 1 out of every 5 races, you could expect to see one of these 5 drops. With all that covered, this project is certainly the most accurate one to date, but because of this, a lot was covered, so let's do a quick summary. Strange coins and motes dropped often, but only about 1 per 4 races and are not viably farmed. Emblems and shaders drop collectively 20% of the time, but after a bit of time and you've received them all, they will no longer drop. The SRL ornaments are quite rare, dropping at only 4.38% of the time. 65% of your drops will either be blue gear, blue engrams, legendary engrams, or non-SRL class items, 40% of that being blue gear. The crimson and sugary shells are among the rarest items in the SRL drop table, dropping collectively only 1.89% of the time. Legendary weapons such as the Eos Luna and the Matador 64 collectively dropped at 13.4% of the time, but each specific weapon is rare, dropping anywhere from 0.39% of the time to 1.59% of the time. And the 5 Sparrow Racing League gear pieces collectively dropped 19.5% of the time at a rate of about 4% each. This project was super fun to do, and without you guys, my subs and supporters, Discord members, Twitter followers, posting this video only 4 days after the Dawning's release would have been impossible. I keep seeing myself as this super small YouTuber with only 5k subs, and I regularly forget that we are almost 13,000 strong. It's amazing to think I have a community, a group of like-minded gamers that are willing to help and play and just work together, and that is awesome. This wasn't my efforts, this was you guys. My community made this video possible. You have shown me that you want to do more community projects, and I'll do more of them in the future. I also want to remind you guys that we have a community Discord server provided by my friends over at Multilux, nearing almost 200 members. So if you want to be part of that community, a link to it is always in the description. And even though I went through the data and I made this video, this was you guys. Be proud of this video. You made this. It blows me away every single day that I made one video about farming strange coins, and I went from 5,000 to nearly 13,000 subscribers in just over a month and a half. And from that, we've created this awesome, amazing community. Every project I do, I want to sit here and thank you guys over and over, because this video would have been impossible without you. But to avoid being overly thankful, I'm simply going to say thanks one last time and get out of here by saying my name is Matt, and I'll see you guys next time.